If you take all of those interactions and you sort of put them in a small database, you can start to track how your business actually performs and interacts with your customers. And you can see those trends over time. People who want to outsource forget that I've got to have all of these. If I don't outsource, I can simplify my business, leave all of that customer care activity to the experts. We're going to be left with the really hard, human, challenging calls and issues. You're going to now need a more sophisticated customer service agent than what you have today.
Today we are diving into the essential world of customer experience and how data, AI, and human talent are reshaping the industry. Hello everyone, this is Kripa Anand and welcome to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the strategic insights and innovative approaches that empower businesses to build lasting customer loyalty and drive growth. Today we are diving into the essential world of customer experience and how data, AI, and human talent are reshaping the industry. In today's competitive landscape, businesses are seeking to move beyond simply outsourcing customer support as a cost saving measure to viewing it as a strategic partnership for growth. Our guest today brings over 2 decades of international experience leading customer experience delivery teams for a national leader in customer care solutions. Joining us today is Clive Woodrow, President and CEO of Advantage Communications Inc. With a proven track record of leading teams across Canada, the USA, Jamaica, the Philippines, Mexico, and Europe, Clive specializes in process optimization, leveraging technologies to voice and data analytics to streamline customer service. So, before further ado, let's welcome this special guest. Clive, welcome to the podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to be here.
Now, Clive, you've said that before a business can even think about AI or analytics, they have to get their data house in order. You have a great story, I guess, that illustrates that as well. So, please go ahead and explain how can clean, well-organized customer data help businesses unlock hidden value, build loyalty, and prepare for new technologies? Go ahead.
Well, I think when you look at all the customer interactions a company has in any going period of time, a month, a year, it's amazing how much information you can pick up and how much you can use. But a lot of times we tend to take our interactions a little bit too casually, and we don't, capture some of those data elements as well as we should. So if you're, a small or medium-sized business and you have, you either have a sales team or you have a switchboard or even a customer care organization, making sure that you collect every element of data can be very, very important for your business, not at that sort of real time,
Right.
but sometime into the future. So you want to look at things like, how often does a customer have to call me about a particular product or service that I provide to them? If they do call, what do they call about? Do they call about delivery times, order issues, or things
The
like that?
repetitive questions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you take all of those interactions and you sort of put them in a small database like an Excel or Power BI or something like that, you can start to track how your business actually performs and interacts with your customers. And then you can see those trends over time and then go back and fix some issues. Man, the one story that sort of highlights this is I lived in Brampton, Ontario when I was newly married a few years ago now.
Okay.
And every Friday night we would order Chinese food. We'd order it from a very, very small Chinese restaurant in Brampton. And we would do, it was probably about 5 or 6 Friday nights that we had ordered it. And then one time in the mail that following week, we got a card inviting us to come to the restaurant
Mhm.
and the meal was on them because we were such a loyal customer.
Wow.
And I can count on my, one hand the number of times that's happened to me in all of the different businesses that you use and frequent over the years.
Yeah.
And if you know the name Mandarin,
Yeah.
that's they started. And
Oh,
I think they're a great example of how they've used data to understand how their business, how they structure it, the people that come in, and
yeah.
they're a great success. And it probably started with, hey, these are all the customers that are keep ordering out. Let's get them into the restaurant and make them loyal fans for a long, long time.
Wow. No, Mandarin, I do recognize that. They have a restaurant in North York as well. And that
Yep.
is the first time that I tried that. But that's a very sweet and relatable story, Clive, because it perfectly illustrates how data, when used strategically, can be a powerful tool for building lasting customer relationships. That's amazing. Now, let's explore a more realistic and powerful approach to the future of customer service, and that is blending AI with human talent. So please go ahead, Clive, from your extensive experience. How do you think uh, AI is going to take over this industry or not? Because there's a lot of noise about AI completely replacing humans, especially in contact centers. And you, however, advocate for a more realistic and powerful approach, and there is a combination of both of them. So please go ahead and explain this
Yeah.
approach.
So probably like all of us, we get inundated by companies that are selling or trying to sell AI solutions, customer experience. And what we've seen is the companies that we work with have very complex challenges that involve people, they involve processes, products, and businesses are changing all the time, and so their products and their processes are changing all the time. And in order to get an AI tool working well with that customer, it's not a tool or a technology that we're going to be able to sort of just say, okay, show up,
Yeah,
turn it on, and it's going to work,
right.
because most businesses are very, very complex. So where we've seen some success is where you take the technology and you meld it with the people that are working either in the area or the department, and you basically either can teach the AI to handle some of the really less complex questions
Monotonous
that customers
tasks. Yeah.
are going to get and are going to ask you, and then you start to build it up over time.
Mm.
But we haven't seen a single incidence where you can just put in an AI and it's going to listen to all of your customers and then give them all the right answers. I know one client that's in sort of they deliver cable and internet services, and they did that, and it was pretty much I don't want to say a disaster, but it handled the easy calls,
Yeah.
but the customers got very, very frustrated because when they
Mm.
had more complex or follow-on questions,
Yeah.
the AI just didn't have the background to be able to answer those calls. And
Yeah.
then we also are starting to hear about customers who don't want to speak to AI.
Yes.
They don't want to be sort of tricked into, oh, you've called somebody and that person is really an AI robot, right?
Yeah.
I think companies are going to have to realize that they're going to have to either declare this person is this entity is an AI bot, or it's a real person,
Right.
and have the ability to get out of the AI environment and talk to a real person when it's required. So it's not going to be easily implemented in all companies. You're going to have to worry about your processes, your people, your products,
Yes.
and the changes of your business. It's going to require some management to get it right.
That's a very powerful vision, Clive. It's clear that the future of customer service is a symbiotic relationship between AI and human talent, and AI is never completely going to take over anything because human intervention is needed for complex tasks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for highlighting that. Next, Clive, I'd like to discuss a mindset issue with you because many leaders believe outsourcing customer support means sacrificing quality for cost savings. But you challenge this notion. So, how do you, as a BPO partner, help businesses move beyond a simple cost per hour mindset to find a true partner who delivers measurable financial value and enhances their customer experience to a standard that makes them proud?
Yeah. When you think of a business, let's just let's say you provide internet services,
Yeah.
and if that's your core product, your core service to your customers, you got to realize that you're going to need other elements of your business. You need finance, you need customer service, you need HR. Well, if in the area of customer service, if you're a relatively small company, you can look to an outsourcer, BPO outsourcer, for someone who can bring in years of experience in that industry.
Hmm.
They can bring tools and technology that they have as part of their organization to that, let's say, that internet company, where if that company had to do it themselves,
Yeah.
they have to buy all the technology, then they have to buy all of the people that run the technology,
Mm.
and then if you have customer service agents, then you have to hire all of them. You have to train them all. You have to, have HR people. You have to have payroll. All of these things
Right.
start to expand, and where we find people who want to outsource, sometimes they forget that I've got to have all of these. If I don't outsource, I've got to have all of these things
Right.
as part of my business. But if I outsource, I can simplify my business, leave all of that customer care activity to the experts, and I can still focus on running my business. And that is, I think those are the clients where they see that value. So we'll bring in a lot more experience because we have experience over multiple industries,
Hmm.
where sometimes if you're just focused on one industry, you might not get the good ideas that come with just your team.
Right.
And also, when people outsource, if you decide to do that, it's not it's not a service where you could basically just throw all of your issues over the fence
Yeah.
and go, oh, I've outsourced it, they'll take care of it.
Right.
Really, really good outsourcing partnerships work when this team treats the outsourcing team as an internal employee, right? Where they're sharing all of that information. They're going back and forth, talking about challenges. It might be sales volumes, it might be weather, it might be a whole bunch of issues that's going to impact your customer. So having a good partnership is absolutely key to success.
That's a very compelling argument, Clive, because it gets to the heart of what a true strategic partnership in customer service looks like. So, thank you so much for painting that picture. Hello, Canadian entrepreneurs. Are you looking for a partner who can help you transform your customer service from a cost center to a growth engine? Learn from Clive Woodrow, President and CEO of Advantage Communications, about how to leverage data, AI, and strategic partnerships to drive real business value and build lasting customer loyalty. Now, let's continue our conversation with Clive. All right, it's time for a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll dive into how Advantage Communications' customer insight analytics platform is transforming customer service. Stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, listeners. Now let's explore how Clive's Customer Insight Analytics platform is helping businesses turn customer interactions into valuable, actionable insights. Next, let's look at a specific accomplishment that illustrates that how you do this, and that is your Customer Insight Analytics platform. So, for all of our listeners, from a layman perspective, please go ahead and explain that what can they expect from this.
Right. Um, so we do it in kind of two key areas. We do it in all of our voice conversations, and we also do it in some of our what a customer would have with a chat interaction with a website or a chat bot.
Right.
And what we do is we use a technology that allows us to take all of the telephone calls, all those recorded telephone calls, and basically analyze everything that is being said, both from an agent's perspective and a customer's perspective. And although the machine doesn't do all of the work, there's a lot of human interaction as well. But what we do is we start to pick up trends and things that we've heard before.
Patterns.
Yeah, exactly. And then you start to look for those. So you have some guidelines as to, okay, what do we think good sounds like? And if you put a sort of parameter, well, good sounds like this call should only be about 5 minutes. The customer should say, oh, thank you, or that was great. I appreciate my issue is fixed. All of those kinds of phraseology, we can actually have the machine listen to all of those calls for those phrases. And if we don't hear it, it's an exception. You bring it out, you analyze it a little bit more, and you find out where the challenges are. We worked with one client, retailer in Canada, where we were able to give them their top 10 reasons why customers call them every single month. And what they're able to do with that information is then go, okay, I know that I have a problem with this delivery service because they kept being mentioned by customers more often than not. They were able to find out why that delivery service was being problematic to them and was able to fix that. We also worked with a bank where a lot of the customers were calling into the credit card line, and actually they wanted to talk to the debit card team. So a little bit difference between your credit card and your debit card. But in their IVR, the selection, they didn't mention debit card. So customers were like, I don't know what to pick. And so they pick one, and then we had to transfer them all. So listening to all of those calls, you can really, really help to understand what's working, what's not working in a company. And on the chat side, we do exactly that. So if you think about, you chat with an airline and you're trying to get a price or you're trying to get some tickets and all the rest of it, all of that is a dialogue, much like a telephone call, but it's just in typewritten form. So we analyze all the words that are listed and how the customers progress through the chatbot. And if they get stuck in one area and they want to talk to an agent, then we look for all of those sticking points and then able to either fix what the chatbot is saying or the words in the chatbot to help the customer complete the transaction through there. So we're trying to drive satisfaction from the customer, because nothing worse than talking to a chatbot and not getting the answer that you want. Nothing more frustrating than that. So we look for all of those gaps and then fix them as we go along through that analytics.
That's definitely going to be such a big game changer, because that's a phenomenal capability to have in the first place. It's clear that this platform turns customer interactions into strategic asset for your clients, and that's amazing. Now, finally, let's reflect on your leadership, global reach, and your vision for the future of customer experience. So, let's do a little time travel here. If I were to give you a time machine and we were to travel 5 or 7 years into the future, when you get out of that time machine, how exactly do you envision Advantage Communications changing?
Well, I think the business is going to change in the sense that there will be less reliance on actually telephoning companies and talking to agents. With a new generation coming up, the younger generation, we've spent more time on our telephones. We chat more often. We text people. That is where sort of the customer base is becoming more comfortable. Companies are able to then manage 2, 3, 4 chats at the same time and be able to answer customers' questions. AI is absolutely going to have an impact. It's going to be able to answer all of those questions, the easy ones. What's my account balance? When's my next bill due? Is there an outage in my area? All of that AI is going to be able to handle very, very well. But what we're going to be left with is the ones that AI can handle are going to be the really hard human challenging calls and issues and challenges that customers are having. And that's where you're going to now need a more sophisticated customer service agent than what you have today.
Right.
So someone who's is going to have much more experience, longer tenure within your organization, is going to have to know and have information into every other part of your business so that they can answer these challenging questions. So I think we're going to see where call center agents right now, it's sort of a low level job. It's an entry level job into most organizations. Once AI picks up some of these tasks, these people are going to be far more important, and they're going to have a much bigger impact on the overall customer experience.
Wow, I love that answer. Very well articulated. On that note, I just wanted to follow up and ask, do you also think the kind of skills that people are learning in today's time, that is also now going to change with AI coming into the picture?
Yeah, that's a great question. The this certainly companies are going to have the AI skills. I think there's the AI tools are becoming more sophisticated, and actually the ability to have really deep programming skills is all in some cases being eliminated.
Yeah.
But understanding how the AI works within your organization, what access you give it to,
Yes.
how you can teach it to be a better AI than
AI
maybe just a
intelligence.
yeah, it's AI intelligence going to be very, very important. And it really goes back to the beginning of our conversation is that AI is not going to be able to just know everything. You've got to have the data structured in a way that you can, give it into an organization. So AI, for example, they use it for internal organizations. So someone says, "Oh, what's our vacation policy?" If you don't have a policy on vacation, you can't ask AI it, and it's not going to give you an answer. So you've got to think about all of the different things in your business, making sure that all of those process procedures, that information is in a database that AI can access and then use that effectively.
That's amazing. I'm loving this conversation, and definitely we're going to invite you one more time where we dive into such deeper discussions. But before we let you go, Clive, if there's one piece of final message that you have for our listeners today, something that you want them to remember about making strategic customer experience decisions, what would you say and why?
What I would say is organizations, people in different departments should spend a day or two every month in your customer care team. You should, I think most people would be amazed how many issues and the different types of issues that customers have with either your product or your service, and having that sort of that customer centric experience throughout the whole organization can ensure that your products and your services are more tuned to who your customers are.
That's such a powerful and actionable message, Clive. It has been such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much for sharing your expertise and vision.
Thank you again.
All right, that was an insightful conversation with Clive Woodrow, President and CEO at Advantage Communications Inc., on why data is the bedrock of modern customer service, blending AI and human talent, turning a cost center into a growth engine, and ACI's customer insight analytics platform. To all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. We really appreciate your continued support. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. Also, don't forget to visit our website, CanadianSME.ca. And lastly, a very special thank you to our podcast partners, RBC, UPS, A1 Global College, ADP, and Google for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses in Canada. So until next time, keep innovating and striving for success, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.